How do you know if you're getting faster and stronger on the bike with all that training? A lot of athletes will say race. Racing is one answer, but I'm thinking of something a lot less fun. You guessed it, a performance test. A performance test is basically something that hurts extremely bad. It's really painful. And you don't get a finisher medal or a finisher t-shirt. You might get half a bagel or a couple of orange slices if you've got them in your own kitchen. But the gains and information you get for your training after doing a performance test is absolutely invaluable and really worth the pain that you go through. So whether you're doing short or long course triathlons, duathlons, off-road triathlons, road or mountain bike races, performance tests will really help track your progress throughout the season. So I'm going to walk you through a performance test. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to do your own Sufferfest. Hey, it's Eric with ewjtri, bringing you a free video every week. Hit the red subscribe button so that you get faster every week. And one of the ways we can get faster is improving our lactic threshold. And basically, lactic threshold is how hard you can go for an hour. So if you've got the time, you could jump on that mountain bike or the road bike or hit the indoor trainer and literally go all out for that hour, and you'd have essentially your lactic threshold, but going for the hour straight. Now, most people don't do this. Most people don't have the time to do that. And there's also the issue of motivation. I can really get excited and go hard in a race, but going hard by myself on a trainer or something like that for an hour, I don't think it'd be a truly accurate measure, going that far. So never fear, you don't have to do the hour, but if you want to, go for it. But if you do head outside, you want to avoid any technical terrain or any downhills. You don't want to have any times where you're really not pedaling or coasting. There's some pretty good research out there that shows if you do it for about half the time, about 30 minutes, that's a really close estimate for what you do for the full hour. So that's what we're going to focus on today. Now, there are a couple ways you can do it for even less, 20 minutes. There's even a couple 2x8 minute ones. I'll let you, we'll save those for another day, another conversation, or you can message me about those. The whole point of doing this performance testing is to get your LTHR, lactic threshold heart rate, or your FTP, your functional threshold power. And so for the heart rate, that will help establish training zones based off of that. And then if you have a power meter, you can use the wattage for that. So what you're going to need for this testing is a heart rate monitor, a power meter, or both. So if you're headed outside to do this, you're doing 30 minutes, hard as you can. If you are headed on the indoor trainer, you need a couple more items. I'd recommend about 5 towels and a box of Kleenex. This is gonna hurt, and it's gonna hurt bad. And if you're not used to doing these, the trainer's almost better because you don't have to worry about the road or tipping over. You can just hold on to the bars and pedal as hard as you can. Your dog will probably think you're dying or something, but you'll get through it, but it's gonna hurt. I know you're likely time crunched, but you definitely wanna be warmed up for this workout. Even recommend probably taking the day off the day before, or even having a couple easy days before to make sure you're rested for this. Make sure you're doing some of those dynamic exercises and movements to kind of grease the joints and get the blood flowing a little bit. Then once you get on the bike, you're gonna just pedal nice and easy for about 13 minutes. That's usually plenty of time to get your legs kind of warmed up and mentally kind of get into the idea of the workout, getting that heart rate slowly increasing as you pedal. And then at that 13-minute mark, I want you to start a couple of, we'll call them openers, where for 30 seconds, you just hit a high cadence over 100, just as fast as you can possibly go. Get those legs spinning up to 100, 120 if you can, for 30 seconds, and then shut it down. Nice, easy spinning. Keep it going, and then for about 3 minutes. So then at 16:30 in to your warm up, you're gonna hit another one. You're gonna spin as hard as you can for 30 seconds. So 2 of those openers to get those legs going. You're basically telling the legs, the body and the brain, like, you are about to do something crazy here. it better start warming up and listening to these fast accelerations. And that'll that'll actually be much faster than you're going for the actual performance test. And so it'll seem hopefully a little bit easier going from that down to the performance test pace versus going from a nice easy spin and then jumping into it. So then you're at 17 minutes, you've got 3 minutes. Can I count today? 3 minutes. You've got 3 more minutes of easy spinning. So 13 minutes of warming up, 30 seconds hard spinning, 3 minutes easy, another 30 seconds of hard spinning, and then another 3 minutes easy. And then you go into it at that 20 minutes into your ride. And you're going to go hard as you can for 30 minutes. And you want to go hard. You want to go as hard as you can, but don't jump out way too fast. That first minute or two is crucial. Way too many people go out way too hard. Heart rate starts spiking. So just ease into it a touch, but definitely go hard. And what we're going to do throughout that whole time is when you're done, your heart rate for the last 20 minutes, because there is some of that variability in the first several minutes. So the last 20 minutes, from 10 minutes hard to 30 minutes hard, that average heart rate in that section is what you want to look at. That will help us establish your lactate threshold heart rate. That number there is what it would be. And so we'll base your training zones off of that. And then if you're using a power meter, your power rather, FTP is going to be the entire 30 minutes, because as soon as you start pedaling hard, that wattage gets to where it's at. There's no lag like there is for heart rate. So you're going to use the whole 30 minutes if you're using the power meter. And if you've got both, that's a great way to combine data and get a much more accurate idea of what your zones are going to be. One thing to mention is if you don't feel fantastic on your warm up and you don't, you do one of these openers and and you don't feel great and you start to think, gosh, how the heck am I going to do 30 minutes hard if this 30 seconds, is hurting. And that can totally be normal. Again, you're kind of shocking the system, waking up the body and the brain. And 9 times out of 10, even if you feel crappy on these openers or during your warm up, the performance test goes well. Again, it's going to hurt, but it goes well and it's mission accomplished. Okay. And so if that's not the case, and you feel terrible the whole time and then your heart rate's not what you expected and whatnot, then that's a conversation that we should have, because it could be something else that's going on. Okay, and just like that, you are done. 30 minutes done. Nice work. Now that you've gone through a box of tissues and the dog knows you're not dying, keep pedaling. I know you're not going to want to, but just really nice and easy. Maybe 30 seconds after you stop, you can pause and sit there and catch your breath. But then keep those legs going, just nice and easy spinning. At least 5, not 10 minutes. And really let your heart rate cool down, the muscles cool down, keep that easy spinning going before you actually get off the bike. And throughout this, have some hydration and electrolytes beforehand. You don't necessarily have to drink during this workout, because it is 30 minutes. But certainly once you finish, start rehydrating as quickly as possible, especially on the indoor trainer where you just lost so much sweat. You don't have the airflow blowing over you to help cool you down. Okay, let's sum up. 30 minutes on the bike, as hard as you can go. We're going to use the last 20 minutes of that, whatever your heart rate average was, or if you're using power, we're going to take your average watts for the whole thing, and that's how we're going to use training zones to track your progress. And you'll do this test. It varies depending on where you are in the season, when your races are, and so on. But it's a great way to see if you're getting faster and track your fitness. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope it was as painful as it was every time that I do it. And I hope it really helps you get faster. Put a comment below to tell me what length of performance test really works for you. And until next week, I will see you on the trails.